you go back to that USC-Texas game, who would have ever guessed that Matt Leinart and Vince Young both would have been Buffalo Bills quarterbacks and they both would have been cut?
Cut before taking a snap.
Yeah, I mean, who would have ever guessed that, honestly?
We need to sign Reggie Bush. And welcome to yet another edition of Buffalo Bills Pregame. We're kicking off the 2016 season, and the top story is, we're doomed!
We're doomed, I tell ya!
Or are we? Of all the seasons that I can remember in terms of the Buffalo Bills publicity machine trying to hype up the season, get all the fans excited for the possibility of doing well, it seems that the opinions of Bills fans is as varied as I've ever seen it. There's those who are normally very negative, myself, who have this odd optimism, like it can't be worse than it's been, perhaps, maybe that's what it is, or someone who is usually a little bit more optimistic yourself, who thinks that we're headed in the wrong direction.
I think we're heading that third direction more than the wrong direction, and if you're in that third direction, that just means you're not getting any better.
Not getting any better, staying the same?
Yeah, give or take.
Well, I guess that maintaining that average performance has been the hallmark of this playoff drought for the Bills team.
Hey, we are the team that had Dick Jauron for however many years.
I'll never forget when he was doing well that one season. I'm like, Dick Jauron, Coach of the Year. Like, we're like 6-0. There's no way he doesn't win this year.
And then
like,
Trent Edwards loses his head.
It's funny looking back just how you can get yourself worked up and that this team's going to be good. And maybe I'm getting caught in that trap again. Maybe it's the Ryan brothers being reunited right after the death of their father. Like they're supposed to be players, coaches, and coaches. Well, players want to go out and play for them. So if there is something to that, perhaps this is the season where Rex just lights a fire under all these players' asses, and they really put out some performances. Or maybe the lack of discipline continues to hurt us. Preseason would not seem to indicate that penalties is going to be any better situation than it was this last year.
Oh, what I would say is there weren't that many stupid penalties. There are more the penalties you would say that were procedural that you usually clean up throughout the season, as opposed to Jerry Hughes getting a 15-yarder for bickering with the official, or Jerry Hughes getting a penalty for patting his own teammate on the helmet.
Do you think that the reputation earned by the Bills for losing their cool last year carries over to this year with the refs?
We'll see. I mean, it depends on how the first couple of games go. If they get a bad call and they start losing their composure, yeah. If they act cool, calm, collected, which past history hasn't really said that, then maybe they'll get a few more breaks from the officials. So.
Lots of new starters, a lot of change up on the roster, whether it be through injury or cuts or handfuls of suspensions. Who do you think is the biggest loss from a starter from last year?
That's really a tough question, but I'd have to say Mario, strictly on the basis that we really hadn't had anyone to replace him, with Shaq basically having his Willis McGahee year. And even with other players that we had lost with Bradham, we end up with Shaq Lawson, or not Shaq Lawson, Reggie Ragland also getting hurt as well. So those two, I would say, would probably be the biggest losses out of the group.
Mario, and then potential what would have been starters this year that we lost before we got the chance. I mean, certainly talent-wise, Mario Williams is going to be the biggest loss, but what he was giving us last season was not that of, a superstar talent.
Yeah, I always say that he was a great player, but never had that drive to be elite. So,
but we have made some adds. We got Baby Gronk, Adolphus Washington, Zach Brown, Lorenzo Alexander. Who are you most excited to see, flower into a beautiful NFL player this season?
Realistically, Adolphus Washington. The guy looks legit for a third-round pick. He looks the part already. I'd love to see Zach Brown play some music, not be a linebacker as much, but we'll see how that all works out.
Where's the band?
Yeah, where's the band? But yeah, Washington would be the one I really want to see moving forward there.
And what about Reggie Bush? Big addition. We've completed the USC Texas 2005 National Championship All-Star additions to the roster, and now we have Reggie Bush. He's shown flashes of brilliance in his NFL career, few and far between, but there's always that potential for explosion.
He's our second or third running back, and I basically compare him to C.J. Spiller, just older now. And frankly, if he could provide a few sparks throughout the season, a long punt return, a long receiving play where he goes down the sideline on a screen or breaks a run, great. But I'm not expecting much out of him other than,
playing the Roscoe Parrish role.
yes.
Hopefully he just catches the ball a little bit better. Do you see LeSean McCoy starting off this season better than he did last year?
I hope so, because he came into the season last year beat up and really sluggish for the first few games.
And this season he only beat up other people.
Yes, that is true. Respect the men in blue.
The opponent to start off the season is Baltimore. We have some Baltimore blood running through the veins of the Bills.
Tyrod, Reed, Rexy, so on and so
Corey
forth.
Graham.
Corey Graham, yeah.
Tyrod probably being the most recent and legitimate one for this conversation. And one thing that's been hailed about Tyrod is his near photographic memory. Do you think, having been on the roster as recently as last year with Baltimore, does he have any insights that he's helping out the Bills going into this game?
Even if he had a Sheldon Cooper memory, I would say probably not, because most good coaches, which I'd have to give Harbaugh that, change up their calls, change up certain wrinkles to their offense, their defense throughout the time. And to Harbaugh's credit, he actually fired the offensive coordinator the last time they won the Super Bowl, or went to the Super Bowl, I should say. And that takes a lot of flexibility as a head coach to know when to push that reset button and then move on from there. So I would say that it's more of a compliment to Harbaugh than a detriment or an insult to Taylor there.
Well, Baltimore was very gracious when Tyrod was doing well last year, and put out some statements saying how they proud their former member of their organization was doing well. So hopefully he continues to earn their respect as he beats them this week. Do you think the Bills have any chance?
A chance, yes. I don't think they're going to pull it off, but a chance is definitely within it. Anytime you have a good quarterback, you always have a chance, and Tyrod is right at that level where he's going from...
He was in the Pro Bowl.
Well,
That means he's great, right?
well, yeah, when 6 quarterbacks sit out? Just saying there, yeah.
Look at his football. Look at his card. It says a Pro Bowl. So what do you think? Prediction for the game?
I'm going to have to say Ravens 27-21.
27-20. I'm going to go Bills 24-23. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be the,
The roles are reversed here.
I
You
know.
are the
Who
opposite.
am I? The fumes here in Studio E have us going crazy, I guess.
Yeah.
First show of the season, so we need a season prediction from you. What do you think the Bills are going to be able to pull off this year?
Every time I look at the schedule, I see 8-8, and it's partially who we're facing, and it's partially I don't see that all the off-the-field issues that the Bills have dealt with this year have mended themselves enough. If we had Dareus for those first 4 games instead of him missing a drug test, I'd probably go 10-6 at that point. One player could be worth that much alone.
Especially as big a player as him.
Yes, and one thing I will say is, how is a missed drug test equating to a positive one? That just makes no sense to me.
It's the NFL that we live in.
Yeah.
Longtime viewers of Buffalo Bills pregame, you might want to sit down because this prediction is unexpected for sure. I think the Bills are going to be 10-5-1. I really do. I see the playoffs. I don't know why. I'm just giddy with Bills excitement this year. I've never been as excited for Bills season in a long time.
You
So.
couldn't give another tie?
I'm not getting too greedy with the ties, but one of these seasons when it happens, I'm going to be jumping up and down. Look for this post to be look for this video to be reposted. Well, we did it. First ever Sheldon reference, I think, in Buffalo Bills pregame, so
Yes.
that's always especially exciting. But we will be back right here from broadcasting studio, at least for the LA Rams game. Never done an LA team at all, so we have that to look forward to.
The Lambs back.
And until then.